Order the City Council meeting for October 7, 2019. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any public comment tonight? All right, I'd like to introduce our new Community Development Director, Scott Ross. He's been with the Finney County Economic Development as their Director of Communications.
You've been in Oklahoma too long.
Yeah. And before that, he'd written for a lot of newspapers and stuff. So, any questions for Scott? He's been working on the vision communication document, as well as looking at grants and stuff like that for funding. So we've got him busy.
Good.
All right. Let's take a look at the September 16th minutes in your packet.
I see in there BG Consultants for Quans. When's that supposed to start?
We should bid here, this is the last quarter before we should have bid documents out, so I'm guessing somewhere late November or December we'll bid it.
And I just signed a check for him for, is that for the design?
That's a partial
Partial.
for design.
Okay.
I make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Appropriation ordinance number 1055-09-19 be in your packet. Got any questions? Kim, I'm sure can answer.
Ice machine was at the fire station. Ice machine
Yes.
maintenance at the fire station.
We did get a projector for presentations purchased. Finally.
If it's off computers.
That's an HDMI cable.
I'd so move to approve appropriation ordinance 1055-09-19B.
Second. Second?
Second.
Lynette seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Wisner.
I don't have it.
All right. Mr. James.
Update on trash truck. We had a salesman that kind of went off the deep end, I think. Our chassis should be, it was in Illinois this afternoon, should be at Scranton, Iowa, to the factory tomorrow. Whole problem is when we was told our delivery date on our new trash truck at the end of October, early to mid-November, and after looking at our quote and order for purchase, it says 120 days. After getting into it, they terminated the salesman that we was dealing with, but this 120 days comes in after they received the chassis. So that trash truck will probably not be here till February, realistically. And the gentleman that I've been talking to, which is the president of Elliott Sales, which has taken over things, when I talked to him, I said, well, I can kind of understand why Jeff's not there no more, or one of the reasons. He says, well, that's one of many. So I kind of wonder if he's got him in a little bit of a jam on some other issues. But they was trying to indicate that Kenworth hadn't been communicating and telling them where the chassis was at. And the Kenworth people, I talked to them, and he forwarded the notes he sent to Jeff and told him when the chassis would be there, so everything was up on Kenworth, it's Elliott, and I sent him a nice little note asking him why, and I copied Tim on that, same way with the county, but at this point in time, there's not much we can do about that, other than they said they'd try to do what they can, but in my understanding, and even talking to Bruce up Kenworth, figured that they built those bodies and set them and had them ready to go. So when trucks started showing up, they put them on. But apparently that's not the way it works. So that's kind of the update on the,
How's that impact us for paying this year versus paying next year in budget?
it's accrual.
Okay, it's just an encumbrance
Yeah.
on us, okay.
It will cross years, so you will have,
You'll
we'll have to,
Well, I
Send-
remember talking about it
we'll have
last.
to disencumber it and
Yeah.
then encumber for 2020.
The only thing I can see that'll help us, we was probably, well, I think,
This will put it all in sewer, or in.
solid waste without having to, because
Without
Tiffany
jail.
was accruing some money out of
As I recall, we have to pay Kenworth.
Yeah, we'll have to
This
pay
month.
Kenworth probably this month, most likely, yeah.
We just won't have to pay the Packard.
Yeah, because once it comes in, then they'll invoice us after, what was it, 15 days or some such thing. So, once it's delivered to the body company.
Okay.
So, other than it gives us a little bit more time to accumulate, per se, cash in that fund to truly pay for it, other than year to year.
Does it impact from an operations perspective? Are we all right? Are we gonna be able to survive?
We'll just have to make do. We've got one truck that's in pretty poor shape that we don't want to run, but we'll just make it work.
Well, as Tim and I talked on that, he was hoping it'd be here by the end of the month, for cleanup, and it's like, even if the projections was there at the end of the month, to mid next month, it probably wouldn't have been here in time for cleanup. And as he told me, we can get by without it. Because like he said, the other truck has got some issues that we really don't want to push it too far.
Do you wanna run that truck at cleanup time, or you got it?
It would be very minimal.
Okay.
But
Any
bring
questions?
everybody up to speed on that so they knew what was going on.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I got.
Mr. Rogers,
Nothing.
Mr. McConnell,
I don't have anything at all.
Mrs. Voorhees,
Nothing at this time.
are you bringing up the other thing?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to talk to them.
Okay. Mr. Miles,
Okay, on the second to the last page of your packet, there is the pay scale ranges. It's been brought to our attention that it was set up that if your anniversary, if you get a satisfactory evaluation, then on your anniversary date, you would get your raise, but it doesn't take effect until the next pay period. So if your anniversary date was on the first day of a pay period, you miss out basically 9 days of your raise. So as you can see, it's highlighted down there on the bottom. Step increases are effective on the paycheck that includes the anniversary date within that pay period. So it's a benefit to the employee, is what it is. We probably should have taken it to the JPPC, and we're not going to do this until January 1st. It will take effect. That way it'll be clean for the next year. With you guys' approval, that's what we'd like to do. And then if the JPPC has any issues with it, we've still got a few months before the 1st of January. I don't know why they would, it's only to their benefit, so. But we had a few issues this time with 3, Tim? 4, that it would have cost them some money, so. I'll make a motion that we adopt the new pay scale range with the updates on it.
I'll second that.
with the new effective dates of the paycheck
January,
anniversary date,
Yeah,
okay.
and it take effect January 1st.
Mike seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And that's all I have.
Okay, take a look in your packet at Senate Bill 105. I brought this up when it first was passed by the state. It allows you to determine the start date of the regular term for your city officers. So the bill requires start date to be on or after December 1st following the certification of the election, no later than the second Monday in January. We currently do it in the second Monday of January. If you don't establish an on or date, the bill specifies such term will begin on the second Monday in January. This law is effective July 1st, 2019. The reason I bring it up, we're coming up on elections. I want you guys to make a decision whether you want to keep it as is, or do you want to move it up to December 1st or the first meeting in December 1st or whatever.
I'd rather move to the first meeting in December.
Call it the first Monday in December.
Yeah. And is that what it says? Yeah.
You could state it like that.
To be on or after December 1st following the certification of the election.
That'd be the first Monday.
First Monday in December. That allows a clean break. They don't have to wait for a month to take office. And what if we do pass that and get a resolution started? We'll have to print it twice in paper, right?
Is it a resolution or is it charter ordinance?
This will be a charter, I thought it said.
Set a date.
Amend charter ordinance to say date will be set by resolution, or amend charter ordinance, charter out of 25/21/20. And either set a date in charter ordinance or set a date by ordinary ordinance. We can do it either way, it looks like.
We probably better take a look at the charter ordinance and see what it says
Okay.
to make our decision.
If it's a charter though, we have to print it twice, right? If we're,
If I recall
Yeah.
correct.
which we'd still have time by the time of the election if we get it in. We need to get it in as soon as possible though. So have Tiffany get with Scott and make sure we get that, our T's crossed and our I's dotted on that. And put the way it needs to be for a signature at the next meeting or the meeting after that, even the first one in November, it could probably wait till. So. Did anybody?
I think it's a good idea.
And we all right? Okay, so I need a motion.
That's a move.
Let's get a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And I think you get your CDs on back. That's all I have. Tim? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you were before me. Sorry, Scott. I just went rolling. I was on a roll.
League conference is coming up. I'll attend the city's portion on Friday, and I think the mayor is going down for the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe, or
Yeah. Going down for the rest of it.
see what new concepts and constructs they're throwing around down at the conference. So
There's about 4 good workshop things I wanted to, if I can't attend them all, at least have the material for.
that's all I had.
Now, Tim.
I have a little more than you guys, so. Governor's Water Conference, I'll be attending November 6th through 8th. My registration and expenses will be paid for by the Governor's Water Board, so that will be no expense to the city. Things you guys have been doing, keep up with the mowing. There's a water leak at Kyle Railroad that they had to work on killing an old service. The vault on 7th and State Street was removed. D Street water line project, the main line has been installed. It has been flushed and they're working on setting up the new services. I imagine they'll have that done probably the next day or two. Update on current projects. State Street, they are in the middle of turning those lanes open as we speak. They had eastbound open before the meeting. They will have the other side open by the end of the meeting, I'm sure. So And they will start immediately tomorrow morning tearing out the other side pavement, so it should go fairly quickly. AMI contracts have been sent back to William Carr with Kansas Department of Health and Environment for review. Make sure that they have all the necessary updates that he requires. If he signs off on them, I'll have them back to you the very next meeting for our signature to be able to move forward with that portion of the project. I wanted to clarify, any of you that get this water loss report, you're going to see our numbers jumped over the last month. The main reason for that is all the tie-ins on State Street. We used an enormous amount of water flushing and getting those tie-ins done, so you're going to see a significant change in that number there. So just be aware of that.
How much you gonna have to do under State Street to the north?
Nothing.
So it's just
Water line's done.
So that's all done. No sewer, no water. It's just strictly highway.
Yep.
That'll go quicker then.
Yeah, I'd say give them 2 weeks if weather permits, they'll have it done. So, Mother Nature just has to cooperate. So far, she has not been overly cooperative.
Don't sound too good next couple days anyway.
It does not. The good news is you can tear out in bad weather. The airport application was submitted, so it's in. Same with the cost sharing application for the project out there. Each of you should have an attachment to your packets with the there's 2 sides on the sketch showing the city office renovation, what has been proposed. This has been proposed by the staff and facilities committee. This was part of what was budgeted for 2019. In that renovations did include the elevator, making the bathroom ADA, incorporating the counters to ADA compliance. That's what sprung this project to start with. And from there, we started looking at moving the council chambers to the basement. Started looking at some things we do down there as well. These estimates on the front page are, I feel pretty comfortable in these numbers. There's a few things that we have been looking at that could change some of that. We have talked to the folks at Midwest Energy about their HomeSmart program that allows for us to do some energy upgrades while they fund it. And then we pay it out of our energy savings per month for the duration of the 10 years. So those HomeSmart funds will be used for lighting. We've already got the green light on the lighting funds. The ones we're still working on coming together on is the HVAC stuff. Currently there's 4 furnaces and 4 air conditioning units for this building. I'd like to see that combined to 2 apiece, 1 for the basement, 1 for upstairs if possible, and would provide some pretty healthy energy savings, I believe. So there was an energy audit done last Friday, so once we hear back from Brian Dreiling, I believe his name, we'll have some more information to provide on that. If you look at the diagrams that are set on there, the first page you see is the upstairs, the back page is the basement. You guys questions or comments?
There's a door here. All right.
Yes. We relocated it from right here back to here for convenience sake.
Okay.
Now, I assume looking at this, for this room here, you're coming to the wall.
Correct.
That room in there, you're gonna move the wall out?
Mm-mm.
Well, it shows it flush with.
It
That
basically
room back
stays,
there.
we're not, other than taking the paneling down and sheetrock and insulating,
Well, I'm just looking at
that
the
room
drawing.
doesn't have any change to it.
I'm just looking at the drawing, there's no offset.
Okay.
That's the only reason I was,
It does have about a foot offset there, so it needs to show that in the drawing.
Well, it's just trying to make sure you wasn't redoing
No,
the whole
that's-
thing.
And this is not the scale, folks, so this is just a simple drawing.
And
You look at most of your costs associated, I mean, flooring is a large chunk of your cost. And unfortunately, you're at the point with this current flooring, there isn't a whole lot of life left. You're probably gonna have to do something with it regardless of what you do with any other renovations in the building.
What did you price out on your estimate on flooring?
I priced out carpet squares, and I also priced out some commercial laminate. I kind of took a combination of the prices together because I don't have a good feel for what everybody wants. There's a lot of different directions, whether it goes carpet, goes wood, goes laminate. Personally, I just want something that's easy for us to maintain. I don't want something that's going to provide a lot of possibilities for folks tripping or slipping or anything like that. So I just want something that's simple for us to maintain. I don't have a preference.
The only thing I can say on the carpet is for the acoustics with carpet, just like downstairs. It'll help the sound. I mean, that's, normally speaking, carpet helps with the
Absorption.
sound in a larger room.
And done that.
And you won't have the chance of slipping on wet floors. Snow and ice and wet floors on a hardwood floor
That's
or
true.
linoleum. Just
So one thing I want to make sure that I mentioned, just in the facility meeting this morning, we wanted to make sure we understood where the money was coming from. So in 2019, we budgeted for $100,000 worth of renovations to this building. That included the elevator, ADA compliance things. What we have for what I'm showing to be spent right now is approximately just under 60,000. So you do have 40,000 scheduled for next year. Those will be, if needed. Looking at what we have budgeted versus what materials are costing us, unless we do some major technology things, I'm not sure that you're going to have the need for the additional funds in 2020 at this point.
And that's pretty much our people doing it, correct?
That's correct. The only thing that I would have anybody outside of our staff do is any HVAC work. We have an individual that can do some duct working and stuff like that, but most of the other stuff will be hired out. Electrical work, the framing, sheetrock and stuff like that, our staff will do all of that.
What about the flooring?
We have a couple folks on staff that are pretty talented with that. A lot of it depends on the product and what you want. So we got a couple guys that's done the laminate for quite a bit. We have one guy that's very talented on the carpet line. So he actually worked for Kelly for several years. So he doesn't like everybody knowing that he's good at it, but he's very good at it. But there's opportunities for us to trim this if we need to. If you recall this project, when we first started looking at it, I believe 3 of you were on the council. It started out as we hired an architect to come in and do a study of the building, and they threw us this great big number, and everybody panicked, and we went backwards, and we're just going to do bits and pieces. We went back to doing just the ADA requirements, and then we ended up with just windows. We were going to do windows and doors, and this is the last part of what we put together back a year and a half ago, I believe, is when we started looking at this again. Now, we were fortunate enough that the elevator, 2/3 of it was paid for by foundations, so that saved us quite a bit of money.
Did you get your button?
It should be here this week. It's the last thing I heard from you. Some of the other modifications that I'd like to see us make, one, on this south side here where that stairway is, I'd like to enclose it. Because what all it does, that water, snow, and rain goes downstairs and sits in that bottom down there, and you get leaves. All of a sudden it backs up that drain and water goes sliding into the basement. I had Thomas come look at it. He didn't think it would be all that expensive for us to do. He would be providing me with a quote to see that work done completely. Some simple things. You know, one of the things I've had several people mention to me, the lettering on the front of the building is so small that most people can't see it. You know, just some simple updating of the building just to make it a little more user-friendly. But there is plenty of options in here to be able to trim if you'd like, or I mean, there's ways you can add to it if you care to. We try to keep this as lean as need be, but
You have money for the furniture stuff this year, right?
we did not have furniture budgeted in there this year. That was one of the things we looked at as possible money for next year. But again, we have some money that hasn't been allocated out of our original budget that if we need to, we could spend on.
Okay. Do you need council approval on that?
I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good for the council to approve this or disapprove it, yes. If that's what you would like.
I'm gonna be a smart ass and say, we've kicked this can down the road too many years again, so we need to proceed.
Is that a good motion then?
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Terry, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Another project we're working on, you'll notice down at Park Street, just off of Highway 183, we have a large hole that's been dug up there. We have a large RCB that'll be stuck in there. We got it off the truck the other day by the assistance of our contractor. We need to find somebody with a larger crane to come and help set it in there. It weighs just a little bit more than we can get in the hole. It's about 15,000 pounds by itself, so it's a little on the hefty side. So we should hopefully have that done either later this week or first part of next week. So
Is that for drainage? Is that what that is?
you notice down there on the south side of the street down there, there's been a huge hole washout over the years. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And no matter what we throw in it or how many times we keep filling it up, it's just going to keep eating away. This should eliminate that problem. So, yeah, we just got to get something big enough to send it in the hole. Another project, Fort Bissell Avenue. We've talked about this quite a bit over the last 6-8 months. This coming Sunday, we will be closing from G Street south, Fort Bissell Avenue, all the way around the loop to Lively's house will be closed. And then from H Street west of Culberson's will be closed. Monday, my staff will go through and spread fly ash lime and prepare it for Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning we'll have our reclaimer here, and it will till all that up and reclaim all that material back in the pavement. And then we will let it cure on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday I have oil trucks and stuff to be here. We will start chip sealing over the top of it. It will be open, weather permitting, Friday afternoon late. So it'll be closed from Sunday evening till Friday morning, or Friday afternoon, excuse me.
So that's the whole entire park.
That basically from, let's see, I think it was over there. So the old pool parking lot, all that gets done just past the entrance sign of the park, goes back down and around the loop to Lively's house. So basically from Durr's house all the way around the loop from there. So in front of Fort Bissell itself, does not. There's enough things underneath there. I don't feel comfortable going through there without the possibility of hitting something.
So when they put that down, then you come back and mill that in?
Basically, that reclaimer that comes in Tuesday, well, it's like a large tiller. It goes through and it takes that fly ash, that asphalt and dirt, mixes it all together, sets it back down. We pack it down, we regrade it, re-put the crown back into it, and we'll double chip over the top of it. And it'll look just like brand new asphalt when we're done. So we'll also be using a rejuvenating agent to help liven up that old asphalt. So this has been a project we've been trying to make go for quite a while. This is a way we can help recycle some of the lime that we just currently throw away in the landfill. So typically we spend about $30,000 to $35,000 a year just burying this in the landfill. So this is putting it to good use, and I feel pretty comfortable that it's going to work pretty well for us.
How much of our lime is this gonna use?
I plan on using about 2,000 tons. So it ought to empty the one pond that we've been needing to get emptied, and then we'll switch the other one over and let it dry. So it needs to, that middle pond's gonna need to dry quite a while before I can reuse it. So it'll be available to use next summer. So if we can set something up where we have the ability to use that every summer or every other summer, you know, there's some huge savings there. I mean, you're looking at, you know, between $35,000 and $40,000 a year in savings depending on which pond.
I'm just curious how much that would do, you know, on an annual basis.
I think we could probably come up with about, I'm going to guess close to 2,000 tons a year, pretty easily to take out of there. So we just got to show everybody that it works.
So if this works out, that Armory Lane would be another good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would. And one of the things we'd like to do out there when we do that is put a new approach into the aquatic center so they can use Armory Lane. So I know the entrance to the Armory is pretty tight, and sometimes you get a lot of traffic going in and out of there. It doesn't have a lot of room for 2 vehicles going in and out.
Well, that's one of those areas though that we need to make that a street instead of, isn't that just an easement,
Which one?
Armory Lane?
We own the easements rights to it, but it's a right-of-way easement. I mean, you.
Well, but what I mean, it's
It's a
strictly-
road. It's
strictly an easement.
but it's a platted road with a.
It is a
sign.
platted road?
Yeah, it's
didn't
got a
think
sign.
about it.
It's got a sign up there that says what road it is. It's platted.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was platted, because when we was looking at that before, I thought it was strictly an easement that had been used for a road.
No, we bought the easement from Mr. Bolt.
Right, I knew that,
But it is a platted road.
but I didn't realize that it had been actually plotted as a public
If I
street.
recall, Mr. Shelton's the one that platted that.
Okay. That's fine.
So when there's a road, if you connect that road on around the aquatic center, what about trucks pulling in there for their
We will make
CDL?
sure that there is lots of signage that says no trucks allowed,
Well, I was gonna
because
say
they'll
that's
destroy everything.
Well, I was gonna say that was the first thing that was going through there.
So we'll have to make sure that the driver's license office are well informed of that to help us encourage that. That is one of the problems, is you have a thoroughfare through there where, you know, the kids and things like that go through there, but it would benefit the customers immensely. Another thing I'll be working on, transportation grants are due, so I'll be putting that together over the next few weeks for 2021. So we'll get our transportation grant put together and put in place. Last Wednesday, I think it was, last Wednesday I had a sewer project public meeting. What this is for is the folks on the west side of town off of Evergreen. They've started having problems with their septic systems, and their lots are no longer large enough to put a septic system back in or even to fix the one they got. We put some information together and some numbers together so that if those folks are interested, we can get that project put together, and it's set up for 10 years payback on it. They have the option to pay in their fee a lump sum if they wish, or a once yearly or once monthly fee, depending on how they wish to set it
Kind of
up.
like a special assessment.
Correct.
Is
So,
that a large cost to them,
I think it was like $1,500 a month, or $1,500 a year. It's like $150
Looks like
a month. So we can charge them $1,500 a month, but
There you go.
anybody's gonna ride it.
or?
But this gives them that availability, and when they left Wednesday night, I think there's 6 homes. Just told them to go and discuss it and make sure it's what they want to do. You know, we're not forcing it upon them at any point. This is their decision entirely. So, but
It's these right here
yes, and that one.
on that one.
Mr. Myers is included with that. And basically that line comes straight and up the hill to him. We looked at a couple options. The option that I chose is for a gravity feed system, so it doesn't have any pumps. One of the systems that they put out there was basically a pump in each house that had to pump it up to the main, and that's just, it's one more thing to go wrong. And when it goes wrong, it's gonna be a mess in your house and you're gonna be upset with us. So this way is just a lot cleaner.
But the elevation it will go to, it has
It'll
the
be deep in
ability
some places.
to go west.
It'll be deep in some places, but that's okay. So, one other thing I got for you is I have a building permit for a hangar out at the airport that I am unable to sign. It does not meet the requirements for a hangar. However, in the years past, the council has authorized the mayor to sign that permit stating that it's okay to override those building codes.
What does it not meet?
It's not sprinkled.
Is that the only thing?
Yep. Building code says all hangars that house airplanes or has fuel attached to them will have sprinkled. And we don't have a single one out there that is sprinkled.
So
It would cost them a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't put us at risk with the FAA or anything?
No.
Okay.
We've done this on, I think, 3 of them since I've been here. As a building official, I cannot sign off on a permit knowingly that it does not meet building codes. However, the council can override me on that and sign off on it that you're okay with it.
If that's the only thing, I would so move to sign it.
Second it.
And that seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Would it make sense to get that ordinance changed if we don't, I mean, it seems to me like it's.
Well, it's not so much an ordinance, it's international building codes that we adopt.
Alright.
That's where it hits.
Do I sign
Yeah.
this?
And that is all I have for you, unless you have questions for me.
Oh, why'd you take that bunker out? That's 7th Street.
Hmm?
Why'd you take that bunker out? What was the purpose of that?
That's that vault that's no longer needed. It sticks out of the ground about this far.
Yeah?
And with the new water line, that's all old stuff that's no longer need. So in order to get that down, you can clean that corner up, get your ADA ramps put in there, and just be a lot cleaner all the way around. So,
Yeah, because the one time when that raw line went through there and went north and all that.
see the raw wire line coming from the south and dog leg back to the west there, approximately 15 foot, and then went back north.
Yeah,
But it also had another line coming from the old water plant that if this line coming from the south went bad, they could turn the valves and run from the plant
okay.
and
Yeah.
run that wall. Now it's all dead, so there's no reason for us to keep
Okay.
any of that stuff in
Oh.
use. So just one more old thing we can take off the books and
Right, yeah,
be
good.
done with it.
Any more questions for Tim? Do you have anything tonight?
I don't think.
You don't? Okay. Any more discussion? I would entertain a
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, thank you.